say,
Top Billin.
All right, y'all. I know my fellow state fans are still down in the dumps about the loss to Ohio State, but hey, we move on, we trek on. Like I said before, the season is still ahead of us. We can still do some huge things. All our goals are still ahead of us. We just got to put in the work, and we got to make it happen. We can't be like the Ohio State game and lose sight of who we are. I was wondering about certain aspects of this game right here, and I'm just thinking about the run game, thinking about 12 personnel, how we were doing it, 12 and 13 personnel. When you were playing the type of defense that Penn State was playing against Ohio State, despite the fact that it still came down to what I said it would, Marvin Harrison being the difference. If Marvin Harrison had gone to Penn State, there's no way in hell you can tell me that Penn State wouldn't have won that game. Unfortunately, he goes to Ohio State. And there you have it right there, man. You miss out on a generational talent like that, and it is what it is. But I digress from there. But, man, a run like this, right, on this pin and pull action right here, oh, you see him coming around? They pulling Olu from the other side, right? Pulling Olu from the other side right here. You get that block down right here by Sal Wormley. You're pulling on the north side, so that's your cat pull right here. First thing smoking. Olu coming around as well. You get that alley there, man, and it's all to the good. Look at that, bang. And look at that, my man Nick Singleton doing his 1-2 thing, right? Having people fertilize themselves. I was loving it, no doubt. That's one of the better runs this season, which is pretty shocking. Also get one of these front side runs right here where the line just opened up. Look at that, bang, able to climb to the second level with no resistance at all there and get him out in open space. You can see people down there. I wish my man Trey Wallace would have actually blocked this guy right here. This may have been off to the races there, but it is what it is on that front right here. But you know what? I don't care about none of that, to be honest with you. I want to talk about people talking this insane shit about firing Coach Franklin. Get the fuck out of here. Fire James Franklin. Like I said in the comment section, right? This is an Angry Murf video. Not even going front. Like I said in the comment section, come up with some realistic names of people who would be an upgrade over James Franklin. Not just a change for the sake of change. A lot of this shit that I'm seeing is a change for the sake of change just because people don't understand the ramifications behind firing somebody like Coach Franklin, somebody who's tried and true in this region, a hell of a recruiter with some long-established relationships throughout the Mid-Atlantic region, up into the Northeast corridor and all that, right? I'm talking about killing the state of Maryland and Virginia, right? Both of those states, Virginia especially, right? In Maryland, right? From his time being at Maryland, of course, doing this thing out here in Jersey. You get cats from New York, but of course inside the state of Pennsylvania as well, which maybe is where the uptick in recruit needs to come from. The aforementioned Marvin Harrison definitely was a tough loss there for Penn State. And but come on, man. I'm asking people for names and nobody wants to give me names. It's funny though. I ran across this article right here. And matter of fact, let's look at this. All right, so this came up on a Google card of mine, right, when I was looking up James Franklin's age, because I was thinking, I'm like, man, Coach Franklin can't even be that old. I remember how young he was when he first got the job and how young he was at Vanderbilt. I met him when he was at Vanderbilt, and he's 51 years old, but this was right in the little section. It said 5 dream coaching candidates to replace James Franklin if he's fired. So, listen. If you guys know my career, I come from the business, right? I didn't just pick up YouTube, right? I come from SB Nation, Bleacher Report. I had a syndicated radio show for Yahoo Sports Radio, and Saturday Down South, where I worked at a ton of different places as a sports writer before doing my thing right here on YouTube. However, I understand most of the people you see on these sites are just fans. These guys not making a livable wage, right? When I was at these places before, this place right here, Fansided, contacted me trying to get me to do some business with them. And the shit that they was trying to play people, man, or trying to pay people, Come on, man. It's just a waste of time, right? But everybody wants to be in the business somehow, some way, have their opinions heard here. So this dude right here, Josh Yurcich. Look, it's Coach Yurcich, man. Up here, I'm just playing, right? Josh Yurich right here on Fansided. I only got through a couple of them, right? Until I was about to throw my phone. The first one right here, Chris Peterson. That's an upgrade over James Franklin? How was Chris Peterson an upgrade over James Franklin? You can essentially say Washington is like Penn State, but on the West Coast. Does Chris Peterson have a resume for dominating those schools that are more popping than his schools, like a Oregon or a USC? Yeah, he has some wins over those guys or whatever like that. It's not like Coach Franklin's never beat Michigan before or something like that, right? And to me, it's not like in this time period that Chris Peterson was there, like USC was actually popping. He got to go through some pretty weak USC teams, right, with some pretty weak coaching and all that, right? And Oregon was popping there, and I don't remember them just taking Oregon to task all the time, but they should. They were popping way before Oregon was. Ohio State, Michigan are just a different animal, man. If you're not better than Ohio State and Michigan, come on. You really going to be mad at that? Right? It's frustrating, no doubt about that. But if you think logically, these guys have infrastructure. They're just better programs, man. I hate to say it, they're just better programs. You have to be real about the situation. Those are better programs than Penn State. Penn State obviously has some serious setbacks that still to this day ring true. When you out there and you talking to people still have to bring up shit that don't have nothing to do with these guys at all, and that's still something you have to battle against, right? And Penn State not going to be having the type of money of Ohio State and Michigan, man. It just is what it is. If you can't beat those two programs, that means you suck as a coach. You can beat everyone else, but just those two programs right there. So Chris Peterson would essentially just have to be doing what James Franklin is doing right now, what Coach Franklin's doing right now, and then be able to beat Ohio State and Michigan, and when both of them are really at an elite level right now. Come on, man. Chris Peterson is not from this area. He's not going to be able to recruit and have these relationships and go in and talk to people. Most of the people from this area probably not even heard of Chris Peterson. Come on, man. This shit don't even make sense, right? He never did anything at Washington that Coach Franklin hasn't already done at Penn State. Stop it. Garrett Riley, Clemson OC, right? So Lincoln Riley's little brother, right? Because I'm guessing because of the TCU success, right? A TCU success. So then when they got to the big dogs in Georgia, did they even score? They still haven't scored. It's been 2 years damn near since they. I'm just playing. It's been a damn year since they played. They still have not scored on Georgia. Congratulations, right? This dude has never ran a program. You want him to run Penn State? You don't want him to start at a lower level and prove that he could be a CEO of a team and establish his own recruiting and have some big wins of his own? It's just because he was an OC at TCU? Well, does this make sense? Right? And he's Lincoln Riley's little brother? You can't be serious right there. Maybe he'll bring a different offense. Maybe the offense will have flavor, but guess what? Then you might take a step back on defense. You may take a step back in recruiting. Then it'll all be the same shit. Then you end up not beating the teams that you normally beat outside of Ohio State and Michigan. And then what? Come on. Next. The Washington head coach. Next. Fuck out of here, man. Because he's having a good season at Washington. Season's not even over. Come on, man. This is your dream hires? The Washington head coach? Come on, man. This is better right here. Mike Elko at Duke, right? I don't know why he would be an upgrade. Mike Elko at Duke is essentially James Franklin at Vanderbilt, except playing against lesser competition, right? The ACC is not exactly popping like that. There's some good teams in the ACC, no doubt about that. However, James Franklin was in the SEC when was getting it in and getting it on, and he's being competitive with some really good teams that are national championship contenders out there. and holding his own there. So is Mike Elko going to be an upgrade? Right, he's going to be able to come out here and recruit that, right? You think you're going to go out? Obviously, he was at Texas A&M before and all this. He doesn't have the roots out here to be able to command that type of respect like James Franklin does. Change for the sake of change, man. Urban Meyer, no doubt about it. I said to this day right here, one of my all-time favorite coaches. Everyone knows that. My kid, right? People know I wanted him to go to Penn State. My guy, Still Chambers. However, where did he go? He went to Ohio State because of Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer's a hell of a recruiter. James Franklin and Urban Meyer are actually very similar, except Urban Meyer is just more successful. I mean, if you look at it that way, he is an upgrade over James Franklin in every which way. He'll be able to recruit this or anywhere he goes, right? His name rings bells. No doubt about that. But it's unrealistic. First and foremost, is he going to coach again? And then he's going to go to Ohio State's rival? They're going to let him go to Ohio State's rival? Come on, man. That's a pie in the sky right there. If somebody told me right now that Urban Meyer was interested and he would do it, as much as I love James Franklin, right, I ride with James Frank till the wheels fall off. The wheels will have officially fallen off if Urban Meyer said that he wanted to go to Penn State and coach. Come on, man. The fuck out of here. Be realistic. That's why people can't. That's your list? That's an upgrade over James Franklin? You know what this is? And I told people before around me, right? Auburn. Auburn is very much like Penn State. Auburn is in a very fertile recruiting ground for starters there. Auburn is a nice regional school there. At its best, it has a chance to compete for a national championship. But more times than not, it just has a chance to be very good, which is cool, man. Guess what? It has to play Alabama and Georgia every year and LSU, right? That's in its own. Those are all three national champions and multi-time national champions over the past 10 or 15 years. So imagine that. Auburn thought that Gus Malzahn was a problem. Even though he would beat they had a lot of good seasons under Gus Malzahn. He could recruit. He was pretty innovative with his offense at least when he first came there. It was different, and a lot of people were trying to mimic a lot of the things that he did there. He was able to develop some really nice players. He was able to get some really good coaches in there to coach on the other side of the ball. Very much in the James Franklin boat, but just having to see Georgia and Alabama, teams that are just flat out better programs. LSU too. Maybe LSU was on the same plane as Auburn, but maybe slightly better as well. Are they doing better without Gus Malzahn? Would they now like to have 9 wins or 10 wins or whatever Gus Malzahn could deliver pretty consistently, 8 to 10 wins? Right? They're down in the dumps right now. They're struggling. They already fired the coach right after Gus Malzahn. And then they go and get Gus Malzahn number 2, Hugh Freeze. What's the difference between Gus Malzahn and Hugh Freeze? They're the same high school backgrounds, similar offensive philosophies. They are the same. You went and got that man a bootleg version of guy you already had, right? No disrespect to Hugh Freeze. He's a great coach in his own right there. But you went and got that dude, right? Come on, man. You're going to mess around, fire Coach Franklin, get one of these Jags right in there, be mad, right? It might be some hot shot coordinator like Auburn did with the Boise State, or some guy at a school like Franklin was doing with Vanderbilt. He has some good wins or some competitive wins there. You hire him, figure out he's not James Franklin, have to get rid of him, and then you're going to have to go and get I don't know who would be the Ole Miss version or the Hugh Freeze. Coach Loxley. You're going to have to go get Coach Locks, my man from Maryland, right? Because he's a similar background to James Franklin and everything. You're going to have to, that's be the closest thing you can get to Coach Franklin. You're going to have to go get Coach Locks. Come on, man. So I want to know right now, give me some real names in the comment section and we can talk about it. Other than that, man, shut the fuck up. Didn't beat Ohio State, still get a chance to play Michigan. If you can't beat those teams, man, going 10-2, going to a great bowl and winning those bowl games and all these other beat Auburn too, right? Played Auburn, beat them. Come on, man. Be realistic. Some things just not meant to be. All right. Let me know, though, all right? Your boy Jersey Murf, man. Let's go, man. Gonna bust Indiana's ass, right? Pause, and get back at it on Saturday, all right?
What more can I say?
Top Billin.